prepared are you?
Good afternoon. We are very prepared. We are here at our Southside Service Center, and as you can see, we're surrounded by trucks that are ready to go. We have trucks here for our electric system as well as our water sewer system. We have been planning this exercise now and exercising over the last year and have been planning and preparing very aggressively for the storm over the last 7 days. I want everyone to know we are prepared. We have put ourselves in the emergency status, which means now everybody, all 2,000 JEA employees, as well as the 500 employees that we have brought in from out of town, out of state, to work alongside our employees restoring services after the storm, are prepared to go, and their only objective, we have no day jobs. Our only job right now is storm restoration. So we are focused completely on restoring power after the storm passes. We have made investments of over $100 million over the last number of years in our electric distribution system. We have spent millions on our wastewater collection system, and you can see behind me we've got portable electric generators and pumps ready to go. We've installed over 200 fixed pumps, or fixed generation machines at our pump stations, so we're prepared in terms of any overflow or outages there. We are in constant communication with our customers. I encourage you to go to JEA.com. That's JEA.com. We have switched the entire site over to storm preparation and information. You can get all your information there. Prepare for the storm. We'll give you information during the storm and after the storm for restoration. I am involved with the EOC. The mayor's doing a fantastic job, and we're working side by side with his team. We meet with him several times a day and in constant communication. I am in communication with the governor and all of the CEOs of the electric generating utilities across the state. I am also involved on a daily basis with the CEOs of the major utilities in the Southeast, and we are talking with Secretary Perry. So we have behind us for this storm, at the state level, the full federal government, the state, and our local resources to ensure that the state recovers and JEA and its service territory in Jacksonville recovers.
What's the number of assets that you have?
So let's talk about that. We're in full emergency status. We have increased our resources. We have 3 fully functioning staging areas. This is one. Our West Side Service Territory is another. They are fully loaded with material, inventories, trucks, and troops. We have the Moroccan Shrine on the east side of town. It looks like this. It's going to have more troops coming in, or more guys coming in later today, and pre-positioning assets. All of our inventory is pre-positioned at those 3 sites. Inventory, poles, wires, transformers, pumps, anything needed to restore. We have double the inventory that we used in Matthew, on site, ready to go. We have 2 backup staging areas should we need it, and we're not going to exercise those right now. We have damage assessment assets in place on the ground in Jacksonville. We have a helicopter we brought in yesterday ready to get up as soon as it can fly when the winds die down to assess damage. Primarily we'll be looking at the tree damage and the impact on the system. We have 4 drone teams that we brought in to complement the 2 JEA drone teams to do assessments. And we have 100 resources ready to move out into the service territory as soon as the weather permits to do damage assessment and feed that back to us in real time. Additional workforces, we have over 200 linemen that work with us on a daily basis. We have 360 additional linemen with their trucks and equipment in Jacksonville today. Tree trimmers, tree maintainers, and tree cutters. We normally have about 100 working in the service territory. We have 150 additional tree trimmers, tree removal folks with equipment, with trucks in the service territory today, waiting for the storm to pass. In terms of our generation, we have over 80 generators that look like the one behind us that are ready and portable to be moved around to work on service pump stations. But in the absence of 80% of our sewer flows, we have fixed generation on site in case there's an electric failure. And I want to just let you know again, everyone in JEA is focused on storm restoration. There are no day jobs. We have moved back into our storm structure, and I'm not CEO anymore, I'm incident commander. And my #1 job is restoring services to our employees once the storm passes. So we are ready. We continue to work our recovery plan. We are shutting down, and people will be staging here overnight And in our other two areas, we've got hotel rooms. We've got a little mini transportation system to bring the individuals, the workforce, to these centers so they can get their equipment out and rolling. We are prepared to go as soon as the storm allows us to get out in the field. We are watching the weather really closely. Our guess right now is it's going to be sometime tomorrow afternoon when we can safely fly one of these bucket trucks up at 40 or 50 feet in the air. We need the winds to get down below 40 miles an hour in terms of gusts in order to be safe for our employees and ultimately public safety as well. So that's what we're waiting for. That's what everybody's focused on. We will have storm assessors out in the field assessing damage prior to that because they won't be up in the bucket trucks. Our wastewater individuals will be able to participate in recovery a little earlier as well once the storm, the wind, and the rains die down. So they're ready to go.
Do you have any recommendations for people at home that would help with power restoration?
I think be patient, be safe. You should have gotten the message right now to prepare. Get yourself some food, non-perishables, charge up every device that you have. I want to go back in terms of what the governor has said and what the mayor has said over and over and over again. If you are in a high-risk area, if you are at the beach, if you are in the AB evacuation zone, mobile home, or low-lying area, please evacuate, get to a shelter, be safe, and we'll restore.
Mr. McElroy, you're already experiencing power outages. The effects of Irma is not here as yet. How badly do you think it's going to be? That
is a really good point. This weather we're having now is not Irma. This is a nor'easter that's coming off. This is not Irma yet. We expect Irma to come in and feel the effects later today. It will really be severe tonight, in the middle of the night, and will continue on through the morning, dissipate through the afternoon. So we expect this to be a county-wide event. We expect it to be significant. I will tell you that the state, in the conversation with the state, we're preparing, and we've heard numbers as high as 4 million customers statewide as being out of power.
In terms of the electric and water systems, what concerns you the most about the potential effects we might see?
He's asking for the effects of water and electricity.
Well, the effects on the system is really our overhead lines right now, our distribution lines, and I think secondary to that would be the transmission lines. On the water and sewer side, it really is the effects of the flood. If we get the 12 to 15 inches of water in the low-lying areas, flood will have an adverse impact on the sewer collection system. We're prepared to address that with pumping, electric backup, and our crews have identified those areas, and we're working very aggressively to keep that.
With Matthew, several of those failed.
Yes.
So you learn from that.
Well, we have backup generation, and one of the things that we will be doing in critical points will be turning the generation on this evening, running generation, and if generation fails, then it'll click over to power if the power's on, and it's an easier transition in terms of going from generation to the power and backup as opposed to power to generation. So we're going to try that in those. I will tell you that we have fixed generation backing up the power right now. We did a lot of work in the last number of months walking those power lines, tree trimming, ensuring that there were clearances right to the pump station, and I think we're in good shape. We've got 80% of the flows. The major ones are absolutely have some redundancy as well. No.
If there was any wastewater spill, is JEA going to disclose that to the public like they did last year?
If we have any spill, we will disclose, and we will post that on our website. We have full transparency in terms of the disclosure of any material, whether it's wastewater or any of the critical chemicals that we work with. You know, there is a state requirement, but that's not the issue. The issue is transparency and disclosure. So we will post, absolutely.
Christy Turner with Action News Jackson. I know you said JEA is prepared. Can you tell me some of the lessons learned from Matthew last year and the game, how you tweaked your game plan going forward with this storm?
Well, lessons learned, I think we can always learn and do better. And one of the things that we did was we made sure that we had more resources on the ground before the storm as opposed to after the storm. And that probably was the big issue. We prepared a lot in terms of the wastewater collection area, in terms of backup generation, and making sure the distribution lines were clear. Those are probably two big things that we learned the most and are prepared for this time.
I know no one likes being without power, so what can you tell to customers to stay patient throughout this process? Well,
one of the things we have to understand in our recovery, we have a protocol which is really for the benefit of the entire community. Folks, we're in this together. These men here, they all have homes that are under risk, just like yours. They all have families, they all have pets. They have given their time and will be out in dangerous environment working the storm. So be patient. When we restore power, the first thing, there's two paths to go down. From a system-wise, we have to look at the generation, and we have to look at the water plants and the sewer plants. And then we go out into the distribution, check the transmission lines, the big lines, and then the smaller lines. So that part of the process. Simultaneously, we look from a customer level. We've got to do public safety and health first. We've got to get our hospitals back on, public safety, making sure police and fire are up and running, critical to get that cornerstone bedrock of our community running. Then it's the rest of government, it's schools, it's the rest of government making sure that's functioning. Then our commercial and economic centers, which tend to be in our big electric corridors anyway, water sewer corridors, and then we work our way out in the system. So we are working, be patient with us. We are prepared. We will be launching, and that's what we're talking now in terms of restoration. We're using the word, we are launching over 100 as soon as the storm passes. We're going to launch over 1,000 people into the field as soon as it's safe, and we expect that to be later in the day tomorrow. We'll have some crews work overnight, and that's one of the issues that we have to deal with as a community. We just simply can't work as fast at night as we can during the day. But I guarantee at 6 a.m., we'll have these 1,000 folks ready to go and into the service territory on Tuesday morning.
All right. There you guys have it. That's Paul McElroy.